In this class, you'll learn how to make homemade pastry tarts from scratch, from the filling to the frostings. Hi, my name is Halee. I am a chef in Chicago, and I am here with the Desire Company. Some of the things you can learn from this class is consistency, basic technique, and how to make your own jam. This class is great for kids and adults to live their inner youth. So some things you will need for this class are strawberries, chocolate chips, heavy cream, sugar, lemon, a saute pan, a fork, a knife, puff pastry, egg yolks, and a pastry brush. I enjoy making these because I get to experiment with different fillings, and that's really the most fun part about it. So we are gonna start today with cutting our strawberries for our filling. We're gonna have two types of filling, and we wanna get the hardest one out of the way first. So I'm going to just take the tops off of the strawberries right now. Then we're gonna cut our strawberries. I already have my pan on, and it's at a very low heat, just to get the heat going on it. I'm gonna cut some of the lemon off for the lemon juice and just pour that right into the pan. And then we're gonna add our cup of sugar. You can use powdered sugar, you can use regular granulated sugar, just right into the pan. And I'm just gonna stir. I'm gonna turn this up to about a medium heat, just so the sugar dissolves and the strawberries start to cook. The consistency I'm looking for is just a thicker paste, and then the strawberries will continue cooking down and create an even thicker and thicker paste. So you can see that my sugar dissolved into the liquid, and we already have a lot of liquid in here. So my pan is at a medium heat, and I'm just gonna let that cook a little bit. So while that's heating, I'm gonna start our next filling, which is our chocolate filling for the tart. So it is 1/4 cup of cream into 1 cup of chocolate chips. I'm gonna put that in the microwave for 1 minute, and then we'll check on it, we'll give it a stir, and if it needs another stir to continue cooking, then we'll do that. We're gonna go back to our strawberry and see how it's doing. So I'm gonna take the spatula and I'm just gonna start crushing the strawberries just so I can extract more liquid from them, so we can get this to a more jammy and thicker consistency. You can see that it's starting to get thicker. A lot of those big bubbles are now small bubbles, which means that a lot of that water is cooking out, and now it's just the sugar. I'm pretty happy with the thickness of my strawberries, so I'm gonna kind of stop crushing at the moment. I'm just gonna wait for this to cook a little bit longer. So while that's cooking, I'm gonna mix the chocolate filling that we have for our other tart flavor. Now that it has sat for a few seconds and gotten nice and hot and melted, I'm just gonna stir this. So we pretty much made just a ganache, which is just cream and chocolate. Very easy, very simple. I'm gonna come back to my strawberries. I'd say we're about a minute out from this being done. I could tell that it's starting to be very thick by when I pull the rubber spatula through it. It's taking its time coming back together. Once this cools down, it'll be a lot thicker than what it looks like in the pan. So we don't want to overcook this so it's too gummy and like candy. And we are about done. So now that our fillings are made, we're gonna begin building our tarts. I have frozen puff pastry from the store, and the best thing to do would be to leave it in your fridge overnight so it's thawed, so it's soft and easier to work with. So we're gonna begin with one of our sheets. These always come in 2s. And again, just dust it with flour just so it doesn't get sticky. You don't need a lot of flour. And just flatten it out with your hand. And we want consistent pieces. So I'm gonna cut right on the countertop. You can use a pizza cutter, you can use a butter knife, whatever you feel more comfortable with. So I cut my 4 pieces, and I'm gonna put them to the side, and this is our bottom pieces. So here's our second sheet of puff pastry. I'm gonna cut these in half, just like we did the bottoms, and the only difference between the tops and the bottoms is we're gonna use a fork, or you can use a knife, and you just need to stab a few times on the tops for ventilation for the tarts. And then you will need a sheet tray with parchment paper, and then you are going to lay your bottoms flat. But I like space in between mine just so I can have consistent cooking throughout. And then we have egg yolk here, which is just separated egg yolks from egg whites. And I'm gonna outline the tarts. And this is the glue. So this is what we use to put the top pastry onto the bottom so it sticks. We're gonna do this to all of them. You put that to the side, we're gonna need that again. So first we're gonna do our chocolate filling. You're just gonna put that right into the center of that square. You can use your fingers, you can use another spoon, and as much filling that you feel like. And then we're gonna do our strawberry jam. So right into the center, and it's very hot. It's hot sugar, so you need to be careful to not burn yourself. So now we're gonna take the tops of our tarts and place them on top. So the way that you're gonna do this is you want to reach the corners and you don't want to press down to the center so they stay flat. We want to make sure that they have some height to them. So I'm just gonna press the two corners here, bring these two corners to each one, and then use my fingers and just press down around. And you're gonna do that with all of them. If you don't have a bent fork, just a regular fork will do. So I'm just gonna press down. I am pressing hard, but notice how I'm not going through the tart. I just need to go and press on the parts that I already pressed down with the tart. So this is just to solidify that these are gonna stay shut for us. So our next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the same egg yolk that we used to close them, and we are going to brush the egg yolks on top. The purpose of this is to give them color. And we're just going to brush these like you were coloring something in. And now these are gonna go into the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. Once these come out of the oven, you don't want to frost right away, so you want to let these sit, or you can put them in the freezer and let them chill for a few minutes. These are ready to go, so we're going to start frosting. So to make our frosting, you'll need a bowl and a spoon, your powdered sugar, right into the bowl. So I'm going to add the cream, and I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. And the reason I'm going to do that is because you can always add more, so I'm just going to mix this. We don't want it to be too thick because we want to be able to drizzle it on as opposed to wiping it on. So the chocolate filling that we used for the chocolate tart, this is the same mixture that we used. All I did was I just heated it up for a few more seconds just to get it a little bit thinner. And with our strawberry jam, what makes this really special is instead of just having white, we're going to use some of that liquid from the strawberry jam, not only to give it flavor, but to give it some color. I'm just going to mix that in. Notice how it's getting pink instantly. So we're gonna start frosting and decorating our tarts. To start frosting, we're gonna do our chocolate first. You can start from the center, you can do designs, just drizzle it on top. Now I'm gonna decorate it with some of my favorite sprinkles. You wanna decorate and put the sprinkles on fairly quickly when you get the frosting on, or else it'll harden and then you won't be able to get the sprinkles to stick to them. Now they're frosted, they're finished, let's dive into these. I'm gonna go for the strawberry one first. So it's sticky, it's messy, and it's sweet. It's still a little bit warm, which is exactly what I like. It has all of the layers of the crispiness of the puff pastry. I'm gonna go for the chocolate one next. And the filling is kind of oozing out a little bit. Crispy, chocolatey. If you like chocolate, this is definitely up your alley. I hope you had a lot of fun making these with me today. These are my two favorite flavors, and I hope that you get to experiment yourself and see what kind of flavors you come up with. Thanks for cooking with me. Check out more expert content at thedesirecompany.com.